Well, good morning. Good Sunday morning, that is. And let's see if we got anybody. Make sure my chat's working over here. Hey, Ponka, you doing all right out there in Oklahoma? I got these lights on here. My good camera. I can see my beard. I didn't shave this morning. I got one of these one day beards. Whereas mine's white, and you can't see it too good. So, hey, Greg, how are you this morning? Glad to see some guys jumping in here. Yeah, I don't know if you. Yeah, it's hot out here too. It's been a hot week. It's been hot in North Carolina for a couple of reasons. Uh, we got a political hotbed out here this week because, hey, comfortable man, how are you? Yeah, President Trump came into the state this week and stirred the pot up a little bit for everybody politically. he's good at that, and he got all the ultra liberals all been out of shape and everything. So not only was the temperature hot, but the political scene was hot too, and that's the way it goes. But President Trump, I'll give him this. He says it like he wants to say it. And whether you like him or whether you dislike him, he puts it right on the line. He tells everybody what he thinks. And, that's fine with me. As long as the economy works good, as long as unemployment's low, as long as things are rolling around pretty good, and I'm happy with things. Yep, I am too. Comfortable, man. People want to call him a racist, and that seems to be the theme of the extreme left. Is if you don't like somebody, call them a name, call them a racist, call them a bigot, call them a homophobic, call them anything you want to see if you can demean them and run them down. And I'm not for that. I mean, if it was going the other way, I wouldn't even be for it. That's the cheapest way. I guess you can go back to the old things, the old saying that you used to hear when I was a kid: "Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me." And so it's that's kind of the way I look at it. Well, President Trump's always been he is he's a different breed because he can run with both crowds. I mean, and he's always been. I mean, if you go back and you look at his history and you look at, and I've gone back and viewed some of his old videos too. I mean, he used to be a Democrat, but he's always had the common man, believe it or not, in mind. He's always been for the working man. He's had to do that to get things done himself. He's had to align himself with the working class so he could get buildings built, so he could get things done in his world. And so I admire him for that. I mean, he's a businessman, and we needed a businessman to come in there and shake up the swamp. He gave it a label. He gave it the name, the swamp, and the environment in Washington. Both sides are really a mess. Yeah, I guess Fred taught him well. And but see, and I tell people I'm actually a registered Democrat, but I'm gonna tell you that straight up. But I vote exactly how I want to. I don't vote Democratic. I don't vote Republican. I vote for the person or the way I want it. Now, I was a Democrat way back because in North Carolina, the Republican Party was so weak back in the early 70s when I registered that if you didn't register Democrat, you basically didn't have a voice in the primaries at all because, I mean, there would be some parts of it that'd be just a Democratic primary and that's it. And then once you elected that Democrat for it, they were unopposed on the Republican side. And that happened for a number of years in the South. I mean, the South was predominantly Democratic and actually flipped in the I guess you would say the 80s, somewhere around there, mid 80s, late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s, somewhere in there. The party, the state sort of flipped on its on what it was, whether Republican and Democrat. And if you go back and look at the history of things, that's the way it was. And that being said, that's why I registered Democratic way back. But I've always voted on the presidential side and on the local side. I've always voted for the person that I wanted. I've never been a party loyalist. I've got friends. I've got some friends that say, "Oh, I know exactly who I'm gonna vote for." 20 years from now, I know who I'm gonna vote for because it's whoever's in that party, and that's the wrong way to have. That's the wrong attitude, I think, to have. And I'm never gonna be that. Well, hey, Chris. Yeah, I actually tried to call you the other day too. I don't know what happened with the phone system. I tried calling you through the FaceTime thing. I did that once before with you. I was gonna just kind of chit chat with you and everything on some stuff. I saw that you were doing. I forgot what it was now, so it doesn't really matter. But maybe I can catch you another time. Looks like you've been busy out there with some roof work and a few other things on your rental properties. I know that's hot work out there for you too. Yeah, and that's it, Ponca. You've got to vote with common sense, and that's it. Whatever you want to register as, that's just one thing, and that's minute as far as how you actually want to do things. Yeah, well, that's all right, Chris. I'll catch you enough. I had something on my mind, and don't ask me what it was because I've already forgot it. But I saw something that you were doing. I said, I'm gonna call Chris, and I called you, and then like I said, it hung up on that. But that not FaceTime, the one through Facebook, whatever, that Messenger through Facebook Messenger. That's what I ran through, and I've got that video part that does a good job. I'll do that. But like I said, it was hold on one second, guys. I changed the atmosphere out here. I'm over here in the cool of my building. My nose started running a little bit. Y'all don't want to see me with a runny nose, so I better wipe my nose there a little bit. Well, as far as FedEx and Napa, I'm looking to try to expand. I went up this week. We went up to put our name in for a couple of extra runs that are coming available at one of the terminals. So I'm trying to get some more trucks on. And if I can do that, that'll be a good thing because I'd like to have about 4 or 5 more bid runs if I could. We could stand that, and if I do that, I think that'll help my bottom line a little bit. I'm always trying to, go forward with these things. I want to be progressive and get a few more trucks, and I like. There's a level of trucks that I like to have that I feel very comfortable with. We sold off 6 last year. I liked the volume we were getting from that 6, but it was the 6, they were aggravating where they were. We had them in Greensboro, North Carolina, and they were a little bit, they were a little bit out of the way. I mean, even though I've got some in Savannah, Savannah's not as bad for me because I have so many trucks going in and out of Savannah on both ends. So I like that. And plus we own a place in Savannah or near the Savannah. We own one in Hilton Head. So we go down there for sort of vacation, work, whatever. And I like that. But the one in Greensboro was actually more aggravating. One aspect of it was aggravating was the management down there was terrible. The manager we had down there is just he just wasn't contractor friendly. He wanted to. He ran a little Hitler type operation. It was his way, no way, or hit the highway, and that kind of stuff, and just not a comfortable situation. So I had an opportunity to sell 6 of those runs last year, made some good money, and able to reinvest that in some other things I've got. Some, we're here with the Napa store and a few other things. So it was a good move for me at the time, but I'd like to be able to increase the revenue that we got coming in. So if I could add about another 3 or 4 runs, we've added some in Savannah this year. So if I can add a few more, I think that would be good. The Charlotte market's getting kind of tough, so we got so many contractors in Charlotte, so we have. I like having some of these outlying terminals because the competition for the run is not as stiff as it would be for the same thing in Charlotte. Charlotte has got about 75 contractors down there, whereas some of these outlying terminals may only have 8, 10, 12 contractors at the most. And with the seniority that I have and that I'm able to bring forth on this, it's more competitive for me to be able to. It's really a complicated thing with our points and all kind of crazy things that we have to deal with that you have to watch. Oh, the Savannah terminal is huge already. We actually got 3 down there. We got what they call 314, 299, and 313. And I'm based out of 2 of them. The 314 was getting smaller as far as outbound, but it's big on inbound. I don't know how they judge that, but it is. They don't do as much outbound out of 314. And actually, I don't even think they may have 1 or 2 assigned runs out of there, but primarily they've got assigned runs out of 299 and 313 right now. So the bulk of it's going out of the new 299 terminal. They've built it, and as soon as I saw it, I said, "Oh crap! They've already underbuilt it." I mean, it's big. It's way bigger than in the other 2, but they need space. They need dock space. They need to be able to move these things in and out, and they're going to run out of space at that terminal real quick. Oh gosh, yeah. There's a big port. That's the reason, because of all this expansion, Ponca. And our terminals are right near the ports, so we're able to pick up. What we do, we don't pick up at the ports directly. What we do, these companies that align themselves around the port is who we pick up for. I mean, like you got Shaw Furniture, and you've got I'm trying to think some of the other big ones. There's several great big corporations right there, warehouses, and we pick up Target's another one. Target's got a big warehouse, a huge warehouse. You could probably put 10 football fields back to back, 10 or 15. And that's how long of a terminal that Target is down there. It's huge. I mean, and there's another one that's gone up, and I don't even know what it is. My wife and I were down there one day, and they were pouring the cement. Now, what they do with these places, they have to pour so much cement, they actually put a portable cement plant in these places, and then just haul the raw material in there and mix up the cement right there on the spot, because they're mixing so much that it's the time of going back and forth to get cement would just be terrible. And plus, you want to get the fastest pour you can, so they bring in all the raw supplies to build these things right on the spot. So most of these huge plants, you'll see them. They'll build the dadgum buildings with cement. Right. I mean, they got cement floors, cement foundations, cement walls, and it's unreal. They've got these forms, that they can pour and it's got the rebar and everything in it. I don't know if y'all have ever seen that. And they actually can pour a wall on the ground, and then they lift it up, cut out the doors and everything else how they want. It's amazing what they do with that. And that way, see, because you can't even transport some of that, but they have the uh, yep, they will pour the walls and then stand them up. You ought to see it. It's, I mean, I'm talking about huge walls. I mean, the walls usually are oh God, I don't know, 30 feet wide, 40 feet wide, and then 16, 18, 20, well, no, higher than that, probably 20 foot high once they stand them up. But they have the forms, and they will actually pour these forms out there, and then, stand them up, and then they'll cut them out. I mean, that's the strange part too. It looks like they do it ahead of time, but I guess to keep the rigidity and everything, they cut it out after they make the pour. But I went out there and watched some of that, and that's amazing. It's amazing to what they do. But yeah, well, they've you know they got it down pat. They got it down pat, and to see how much is made out of cement on these things, and how they structure that, and it's like I said, it's an amazing process to me, but it's a smart process. I mean, you think about it. Uh, bring all your raw supplies in. If you've got these, and if you can build a portable cement plant, I mean, it's a plant. They bring in a cement plant. That one, when they built that big Shaw plant, I mean, I looked over and I said, my gosh, that's a cement plant. Just as big, almost as big as you would see at a regular cement plant that sells cement to the public. And they bring in the raw supplies. They bring in, bring in the cement raw. They bring in the rock raw and the all the other mix I guess they use for it, the sand, and they mix it up right on the spot. And that's sort of like the big, huge. I don't know if you've ever seen the huge roadway beds being built. I was amazed at the I-85 when they were doing the expansion down close to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. I used to be running a night run when they were doing that. And they had the huge, I mean, gosh, a monster looking paver. I mean, that paver was, well, I mean, it could pave, I don't know how many lanes, 3, 4 lanes at a time. I mean, and it would, they back up the trucks with the cement stuff in it and pour it in it and take off and go again. And technology is amazing when you get some of these products like that. No, I mean, not comfortable, man. I have not. Let's see. Now they've got the inland port that they're coming out of Savannah up to Greenville, South Carolina, or Spartanburg, Greenville. I don't. They call it like an I don't. Is it inland port or something like that? I don't know the exact name, but what they do, they put them on rails up to Greenville, South Carolina area, and it's like a port. Mm. Mm. Yeah, well, see, some of that's being done up to Greenville right now. And I don't know about going up to Chattanooga, but they're doing that that's basically brought in by rail. In other words, they load it up on rail cars, and then they send it straight up through rail cars up to the inland port up there, and then it's redistributed up there off of the rails, and they're doing that, and they're doing a whole bunch of that too. So I mean, you will actually go down in the Greenville Spartanburg area, and they've got the Uh, they've got that already. Yeah. Uh, yeah, the ports and the rail systems and everything, they're getting huge over here, that's for sure. I mean, it's not all going Amazon like everybody thinks it is. That Amazon's trying their best to try to get into the trucking business, but to me, they're to me, Amazon's just throwing everything up on the wall to see what sticks. They, I mean, I actually had up until this last year. I haven't done it in about a year. I was doing some Amazon work. I was one of their early contractors. They had contractors doing that, but I really wasn't. Let me turn this. I'm look like I'm down in a huge hole. I was actually doing that, and what wasn't too pleased with it. One reason is because they just are not stable. I don't think they. Uh, Amazon will do something, and then next week they'll change it, and then they want you to be at their beck and call. They want you to be, have men available immediately, and they're going to have, they want you to be, they'll have you assign you runs. Your guys are work starting at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then next day they're starting at, 7 in the morning, or then maybe 3 in the afternoon. People can't adjust to that. So it's terrible for me. Yeah, I did Amazon up to about a year ago, and I just got aggravated with it. My partner that I have in it, Landon. He's still doing it right now, but he's not too happy with it either. Him and his wife are struggling along with that, and it is not a fun time being a Amazon contractor right now because of the fact that the way they're working is just not it's not fun. I don't think so. I at this point in my life, I don't need that headache. And it was way more headache than it was benefit. I mean, I may have told you the story where we had an issue with one of my trucks, left the terminal, and the driver found the problem with the truck about a mile up the road. In other words, what it was, we had a little air valve that was messed up, and all it is a grommet on the inside of the dash that messed up, and the air's not working right going to the trailer. Well, it's not that big of a fix if I had the parts and I had it in my shop, but I didn't have that. I mean, I was on the side of the road. So I told my driver to take it back to the Amazon terminal. And we took it back to the Amazon terminal. They said, it's not our problem. You've already left. It's your problem. And we said, we've only gotten a mile up the road. We just turned right around immediately and brought it back to you. Can you get another driver to take it? They said, no. It's your problem, your truck, your problem. We said, it's not an easy fix on the side of the road. They said, we don't care. Not our problem. And this is like 3 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Couldn't get anybody out, not quickly. It would have taken, whatever. And those guys told me, I don't care if you have to tow it from Columbia to Charlotte. It's your problem. I said, mister, I'm not doing that. And my driver said, well, what do I do? I said, you drop that damn trailer right there on the lot, right there in front of the guard shack. And he got out, started dropping it. The guards come out there. No, you can't do this. You can't do this. He said, watch me. And they got out there and tried to get in front of his truck, everything, and called the law on me. Called the law on us for dropping their trailer back on their lot when we had a problem and couldn't do anything. But it was right there on their lot. And they tried to get me arrested, or my truck driver arrested, for dropping illegally out there on their lot, they said. I said, bull crap. So, I mean, to me, I finally got a hold of the people at Amazon. The problem was at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday morning, all I got was Ralph in Bangladesh or whatever it was. They of course didn't have anybody working, so they just said, they flip it over to somebody in India or whatever, and and you get Ralph. Oh, y'all, this will be blah, 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 blah. You know, you hear all that. They can't make a decision. All they're going to do is read a script out of a daggum book. Oh, yes, you got to move. You got to do this. And I said, no, I don't. No, I don't. Common sense says I'm taking it back to the people. They've got to fray. I'm letting them deal with it. But anyway, that's the stupid thing with Amazon. And that was the last time I drove for them. I did not want to pull another load with them. Didn't care, whatever. They can do their own thing. So I like I said, I gave it a good shot. I did it for several years, but wasn't happy with it. And you know, now I hear it's even gotten worse. They're trying to you know, hearing this through Landon, and they're just not giving them the loads. Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to be blamed for that. I didn't care. I basically didn't care. They could have it. You know, it's one of those. You stick it up your butt, fella. I don't care. I'm not going to drive for you anymore. You know what you going to hold over me? I got my own authority. You know, if you want to treat me that unfairly, I don't care. So that was the end of the line for me for Amazon. I decided I could do better than that. You know, here's your trailer back. Fine, it's yours. Do your own thing. Not going to deal with a stupid company at that point. And to me, that was stupid. That was a stupid way. And it was a situation where one part of it didn't know what the other part was doing. So and of course they got a lot of money. They got a ton of money, so they can throw things at people all day long. And I hope they don't jump all over me for saying what I'm saying, but I'm saying the truth. I mean, they can check the records. Everything I've said is the truth. I've not said anything false about them at all. But they've got more money than I'll ever have. And Jeff Bezos can throw money at things right and left. And, you know, hopefully, I guess for him, and it will, he'll make things stick. But I just don't think it's a wise decision to do the way they're doing it. And I mean, I like the FedEx is way more structured. And I hope and pray. And some people say, well, Amazon may buy FedEx out. Well, that would be the demise of FedEx if it did happen. I hope nothing like that ever does happen. Amazon, to me, ought to be investigated for antitrust now anyway. I mean, they're a monopoly, and they are running people out of business right and left. So, you know, but everybody seems to be going along with their plan. It's too easy. It's too easy for everybody. I mean, I'm guilty myself. I buy from Amazon yet. Yeah, they were given early on when the internet started. They were given a lot of leeway to do things without, you know, and they went out there and said, oh, well, they're not making money. They're not making money. But everybody knew that in reality, they were making money, but they were reinvesting it right and left and building stuff up. And they have built their infrastructure up so strong now. And if you look around, I don't know where you're at, but just about everywhere they're building huge warehouses. They've got, in the Charlotte area, they have got 5 huge warehouses, not small. I'm talking huge warehouses now in the Charlotte area. I mean, they've got them for the one that just does inbound from General Freight. They got another one that does the package vans, the little gray vans they got running out. They got another one that's being built not a mile. They've got them all close proximity. Then they got the one over in Concord that they're building, and they have another one in Concord. So in the greater Charlotte area, they probably have 5 big warehouses now. And it just boggles your mind, you know, what they're able to do there. So, you know, it's got its good points, it's got its bad points, but yeah, you got to watch. I like parts, the convenience and some of the things that Amazon is bringing is competitive, and I like it to a degree, but also it's a monopoly in the fact that it's running out. A lot of small businesses can't compete with it. So primarily what they're doing, some of them are subsidizing, or not subsidizing, some of them are actually working an Amazon store in that they actually sell. They sell their product through them. So, that's where we are in that aspect of the trucking business. But now we also got Uber Freight that's trying to come online too. So the the freight business is changing dramatically, I think, in the next few years. Uh, it's something to watch. Some of it's going to work, some of it's not going to work. Yeah, I know, and that's what we're getting at. Walmart basically ran out the first tier of mom and pop stores, and you can look around just about every community. You can look around, and your mom and pop stores, the people that have 3, 4 employees that are running a clothing store or a record store or any kind of small business, a general merchandise store. They're non-existent now in most towns. Yeah, you're going to have to go to your Walmarts if you want it. Now you got Dollar General that's being built everywhere. Dollar General's eroding Walmart. Uh, I used to kid people. I call Dollar General the poor man's Walmart because if you can't afford it from Walmart, you go to Dollar General. But they're building Dollar Generals everywhere, and I just don't, you know. And it's competition. It's the change of the guard. Uh, it's going to be hard for us to compete with some of these things. And the like I said, your mom and pop stores are going to be non-existent. I mean, even my parts store, it's tough because you got Napa's are independent stores. I mean, I actually own this store. I own the building. I own the franchise here. Whereas you got an Advance, an O'Reilly's, and some of these others are company stores. Now, the good point and the bad point, we feel like that we give better customer service at our Napa store because we're not under corporate pressures to push a product. We're not under corporate pressures to uh, go to a corporate agenda, you might say. We buy parts, and we're here to serve our customers what our customers actually want. I don't want to get out here and put my showroom out there and put something on special and make the person think that they have to buy that product on special. Now we run specials, but you're never going to see us push the special or try to tell the customer to buy this, even though we know we probably shouldn't sell them that, or that may not suit their needs as good as some of the others. So that's the way we try to. I mean, we actually try to run our parts store for what our people actually need. Now, granted, we're not going to have everything every time, but we have a good ordering system if you want to get it the next day, and we do try to stock a majority of the product that is coming through and everything. So, I mean, we've got they have a consensus of what they've taken. Napa's real smart on this. They've got all the registrations. They know what every vehicle that is registered in my area. Uh, they can give me the 2 or 3 counties here, so they know what product that I should be putting on my shelves because this is the car coming in. This won't that. Whether radiators, brakes, spark plugs, whatever they should need. I start to say carburetors. Nobody uses carburetors anymore. And we have a few, but that's specialty. That things. When you got a hobbyist now that's working on something that maybe like mine, like my old coupe, and I got a 327, and I've got a 4 barrel carburetor on it. That's not going to be the norm anymore. Used to be that was a normal kind of vehicle that you'd work on, but not now. Now you've got everything's fuel injected, so most people don't work with a fuel injection system. They don't know how it, they get it serviced, they get the filters changed, they get the oil changed, and a lot of people don't even do that. Yeah, I've heard of gas pumps coming up in some of these stores like that. Even some WalMarts that the smaller they've stuck some of the small WalMarts out in places to compete with Dollar General. I don't know how well they're going to be doing and everything, but Dollar General's is something to be reckoned with. They're every. I think they said they want to have them every 10 miles, and some of them are closer. I mean, just here in my little small town of Cherryville, this is a town of 5,000 people. There's a Dollar General that's about 4 miles this direction. There's a Dollar General downtown, which is about 3 miles away. There's a Dollar General up in the West Lincoln area that's probably 6 miles away. There's a Dollar General on the Dallas Cherryville Highway, which is right outside of city limits, about 4 miles. And so that's how Dollar General's thinking, and we're a small community. I mean, I guess the entire community is probably 15 to 20,000 people, but I guess they're putting these Dollar Generals every they're the 7-Eleven of, you might say, of little stores like that. Yeah. Now we got Murphy Oil. Murphy Oil seems to align themselves with Walmart. Uh, that's what we got. Generally speaking, you'll see uh, a big Walmart and then a Murphy Oil station, gas station, right within the same parking lot almost. And that's what they're doing. That part of the entity is getting. And I don't know what the alignment is with Murphy Oil and Walmart, but you always see those two aligned. I don't know if Walmart owns part of Murphy Oil or what. I'd almost venture to say they do. I don't know. Yeah, they it's it's really getting competitive in that venue. That's for sure. I mean, you don't know if uh, like I say, we all ought to look at every aspect of what business is doing nowadays. I mean, like I said, from the Amazon uh, and Walmart's trying to get competitive online again. Home Depot's getting competitive online. I like Home Depot as a store, uh, and even though Lowe's is based right here in North Carolina, Lowe's doesn't seem to be doing as well as Home Depot, in my opinion, because Home Depot's online presence is doing really good, and you can get free shipping from them too. And that's the key to it. And I'm back into the shipping business again. Is who can ship the cheapest and still keep the price the same. And sometimes you have to join a club of some sort, like Amazon. I got Amazon Prime. If most people do, if they order much from Amazon, of course. I've got that and Sam's and everything. I got that through my business and everything too. Because sometimes, I mean, I'm no fool. If somebody's going to run a loss leader, I'm going to buy it up myself and I'll resell it. I mean, if it's the same item I'm selling anyway, and sometimes that'll happen. They'll run a loss leader from one of these warehouse stores, I'll stock it up. I mean, oil's oil. I don't care who it came from. If it came from Walmart or Sam's, or if it comes from something comes from Home Depot or whatever, because I sell the same products. And if you know the product is on sale, and usually say a closeout or a loss leader, and if they can give it to you cheaper than you can get it through your supplier, you're a fool to do it. Yeah, I'm a Prime member with Amazon, so I get Amazon Prime, and I like it. You know, they have made it whereas they've thrown enough in the packages with their movies and everything else, and their music and all these other things that they throw together on the one Amazon Prime. And if, and if you pay that fee once a year, then you are, you know, I mean, that's a plus as a consumer. That's the pluses for it. As a consumer, they're trying to make it, you know, more advantageous. The only thing I worry about is, like I said, if we let it, and the whole thing you got to worry about with monopolies. I mean, look at the other monopolies we got. We got Google owns YouTube. We've got Facebook, who is keeping the world busy talking and chatting with each other. You've got those entities that are controlling a lot of your life. And if you don't look at those things and say, these are good now, but if they go in there and change the algorithm, and this is what a lot of people don't realize, there's algorithms, which is math, you know, of course, they can go in there and mathematically change the outcome of something, and it will make you either think, or you know, they would, or it will block it. You know, you could say something and want to get it out to a lot of people, and if they pick up on keywords and different things through the algorithm, then they can turn you on, turn you off, whatever they want to do. They can send it out. They can. This is what Congress is working on right now, as far as Facebook and Google is trying to make sure that these companies are not aligning themselves with the ultra liberals and blocking conservatives. Uh, I mean, they can't do that legally. I mean, they shouldn't be able to. But there's enough people within their organizations. If there's not a safe watch in there, we're going to be in trouble. Yeah, I know. I feel like they're doing it too. I really do. I mean, they've already been proven from some whistleblowers within their own companies that have come forth and said, you know, this is what's happening. I mean, they even fired that one boy about a year or so ago because he was a conservative at Google, and he did something about a internal memo or something, and that he didn't like, and they fired him. And he was straight up a conservative, and he went to the conservative media about it, and that has to happen. I mean, you've got to. There's a check and balance with everything, just like our government. There's a check and balance with our government, and there needs to be a check and balance with these large companies like that too. I mean, they can't just run amok and do everything that they want to do, and just run like a loose cannon. So, you know, hey James, how are you doing? Yeah, we're over here chatting away. I'm glad to see you in here. I hadn't seen you in here for a couple times. I don't think you must have been busy, but you know, we've got to, you know, I'm one of the old guys now. I'm sort of like a friend of mine. A friend of mine told me here a while back. He said, you know, I don't see as many old people as they used to. Wonder what happened to them. I said, look around, bub. We're it. I'm the old generation now. So, you know, I don't feel old, and I feel experienced, but physically I don't feel too bad old. And I try to be mentally strong, and I stay busy with a lot of things, and I like being that way. But I want to see the country run right. I want to see that. I want to see him going down the road uh, I want to be able to. I want to be able to, you know, uh, live a comfortable life the rest of my life, and I hope the country will go in the right direction. That my children and grandchildren will too. But I'm only going to have so much existence on this world, and I guess I can't be too greedy, but I would hate to see it turn the wrong direction. So I hope you young people out there that are listening to me will keep everything straight and keep everything going good, and vote in the right people. I mean, sometimes it may not be the Republican; it may be a Democrat in a location, but it just vote in the right people that are going to do the right thing, and please don't let this country go socialist. I mean, this socialist mentality. I get a cold chill thinking about what my dad did back in the 40s to fight Nazi Germany and to fight in the Battle of the Bulge, and have to bury all those people at Auschwitz that he did. He was one of the troops on the 82nd Airborne that they had to get a bulldozer and bulldoze a trench. He said probably half a mile long, and then throw people's bodies in these trenches at Auschwitz. I mean, that the concentration camps over there killed millions, and that was real concentration camps, not this crap that AOC is crying the blues about with the border. That these border patrol people are working their tail off to do the right thing, and our people are doing the right thing. Nazi Germany, they rounded people up and put them in concentration camps. Nobody put anybody in these border patrol things. They can turn right around and go back to Mexico. I don't care what your political thoughts are right now, but that's my thought. Nobody is containing anybody against their will. I guarantee if these people down there that are being fed and they're in a facility, if they said, we need to go back home, they would let them go back home. I don't think they'd say, oh, no, you got to stay right here. So that's my thought. Well, guys, I'm about to lose my voice again. I'm about 45 minutes. That's about all I can take from running my mouth, I guess. So I'm gonna hang it up. I'm gonna get off here right now. I've enjoyed chatting with everybody this morning. Y'all have a good rest of the day, and I'll check you next week.